Okay then, welcome to X Chapter Channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that I've been sitting on for a couple of weeks because it's just been cold rain day after day on days when I'd like to be filming. So today's topic is what it's like to make friends in Japan and pass between social circles here, and the advantages and disadvantages that you have as a foreigner. Okay, I'm walking through what's kind of a mini Koreatown here in Yokohama. As you can see, there's a lot of Korean restaurants and shops around here. And I'm going to start today talking about disadvantages of being a foreigner in Japan and making friends. And I'm going to bridge that into the advantages by talking about a little bit about what is difficult even for Japanese people. Now, the first disadvantages, of course, are obvious in that language, culture is different, so the things that you're going to want to talk about or the things you're going to be able to talk about will be different, but that's pretty obvious. I think a little less obvious are things like you're going to make friends with other foreigners and they're going to leave. They're going to return to the country of origin, or they're going to move on to a new country. I've had to say goodbye to a lot of people, and so that's definitely an issue of making friends with other foreigners here. And certainly Japanese people too. So that's one disadvantage. Another disadvantage is this comes from a lot of experience talking with various Japanese friends. This one comes from talking with a variety of Japanese acquaintances, and just, of course, Japanese people make friends with their co-workers, they make friends in high school, university, in junior high school. But there's a very common phenomenon here that the strongest and deepest friendships that you make are with those you know from junior high school. If you ask many Japanese people who their best friends are, who their deepest relationships are with, it's the people that they went to junior high school with. And so as a foreigner coming in, you're at a little bit of a disadvantage because you're probably coming here as an adult and you're not going to make that kind of depth or level of friendship with them. But that's okay. I don't think many people come expecting to make the same kind of friendships that you or I made when we were junior high school students. One thing that's also common with Japanese friendships, and more accurately their relationship circles, is, of course, as with anywhere else, you make friends with people with whom you have the same hobbies, you share the same interests, and you have the same things that you do together. But unlike other countries, in Japan it's very uncommon for people to mix their hobby friends together at social events. So say you have a cycling group that you go out on the weekends and ride your bicycle to various places. And then you have a class where you take calligraphy on Monday evenings. And then you're part of a karate club and you do karate twice a week. It would be very unusual for a Japanese person to have like a house party or a barbecue, host a dinner or something, and invite their karate and cycling and calligraphy friends and have them all attend the party together. That sort of mixing is pretty uncommon. And certainly in America, it's not an issue at all. And so that was a little bit strange for me at first. And it goes even further. A lot of times Japanese people don't mix between grade levels as well. For example, university students will be, if you're a first-year student, you'll be friends with other first-year students. Second-year student, you'll be friends with other second-year students. And a lot of that is because of the senpai-kohai relationship, the senior and junior relationships that happen in Japan. And because if you're the junior, there's a deference that you're expected to show to your seniors. And if you're a senior, you're expecting that extra politeness from your juniors. And it's baked into the social fabric, the social system. It's kind of hard to, I think, make friends between grade levels. And I'll give a particular example of this. I took a group of university students as their chaperone on a fieldwork trip. And it was a mix of first, second, and third year students. And they really seemed to gel nicely together. By the end of the trip, everyone was getting along. They were spending time together. It was quite an enjoyable experience. And in my mind, it was like they had all become friends, or it felt like they should have. But in preparation for this topic, to test this idea, I went and I asked a number of them if they've remained friends with anyone from that fieldwork trip. And several of them said they had. And then I pressed the question, are you friends with people in another grade level? Like, did you, the first year student, remain friends with so-and-so, the third year student? And the answers were no. No, they did not maintain a friendship relationship. In fact, they are still going to greet their elders as senpai or senior, and no close friendships came out between the grade levels there. And that's, I mean, when I was in university, some of my best friends were, in fact, a lot of my friends were in grades above me. When I was a senior, about to graduate, it was actually a fairly lonely year because a lot of people I'd been good friends with had already left, had already graduated. So that was certainly a different experience for me compared to my Japanese students. But now, here is where your big advantage of being a foreigner comes into play. There was a foreign exchange student who was with a group of these students who I was asking these questions to, and she looked puzzled and she said, well, I have friends who are in grades above and below me. As a foreigner, you already lie outside those normal Japanese social circles, and as such, you can move more freely in between them in a way that Japanese themselves cannot. If you have a party or a barbecue and you invite your cycling friends and your calligraphy class friends and your karate dojo, the whole group comes over and they mix, no one's gonna think it's weird because it's a foreigner's party. It's you're outside of those norms already, and so no one's going to bat an eye about this fact. Same with if you're a foreign exchange student. You'll be able to make friends who are older and younger in higher and lower level grades because no one's expecting you to refer to anyone as their senpai or their kohai. So again, you lie outside the normal social environment that Japanese have, in a way, find themselves straitjacketed into. I think of a friendship I have with a gentleman from Wales who I did a video with. I'll link it below. We talk about drinking in Japan. He's about 15 years my senior, and he's also technically my boss in one instance. But we're friends. We hang out together, we've gone running together, we go out drinking together. And if I take that and I put it into the Japanese context, the idea of a Japanese younger guy maintaining a friendship with his boss who's 15 years his senior, it's just an image that doesn't wash, it doesn't work. I really doubt that it's possible. Now, I should add the caveat that I'm speaking in broad generalizations. It's entirely possible that this is not as hard and fast as I'm making it out to be. In fact, I have a very good friend. His name is Masa, and he is a social butterfly. He knows everyone, he meets with everyone, he invites everyone, he mixes everyone together. So he clearly doesn't play by those normal social norms that go on in Japan. So yes, there are exceptions to this, and I acknowledge that. But in general, you as a foreigner are going to have a lot more freedom to move in between social groups and to take your social groups and mix them together. And I think that's a great thing. It's a great opportunity, and you should take advantage of it. All right, I want to thank you very much for watching. And if this was interesting for you, please like and subscribe. And please, please, please comment below. Let me know about friends you've made, what kind of relationships you've had go down in Japan, and, you know, agree or disagree with what I'm talking about. Let us know in the comments below. That's what's most fun for me. I mean, liking and subscribing, sure, that's one thing, but to get people actually talking about it, that's what makes me happy. So if you can do that, that would be great. And thanks for sticking around for 2 weeks since my last episode. Sorry about that. I'll catch you on the next one. It should go back to once a week. Getting into winter weather, it shouldn't rain nearly as much. So catch you on the next one. Bye.